does have a drink in hand. So, oh man, it just said
Cheers.
in broadcast. So let me think.
All right, let's see. I think we can let me reschedule.
Actually, we're live now, so on YouTube anyway.
Oh, okay.
So all right, good. Do that. Are you also logged in? I wasn't sure if it let two of us log in.
I think so. Let's see, 4:45. So what I'm going to do is change the time. You go ahead, Sean. I'm going to change the time on Facebook's. So I think that there's a workaround here.
Okay. We don't get a lot of live people, David, but it's good for backlinks and stuff. So when we post it to our site, it helps. Most of our listeners are on the podcast version.
Okay.
And we'll be sending a link early next week. So you're actually in the host panel, Jonathan?
Yep.
That's cool. I didn't really know if it would let two of us in there at the same time.
So we got two hosts. Yeah.
Nice.
Good to know. We've never done that before.
I've never seen that either.
Okay.
Yeah. StreamYard's really cool. I like it, except for this time window. It gives you a time limit. And then it'll cut you right off, at least on Facebook, not so much YouTube.
If you post a start time in the Facebook page or group or whatever, if you're 10 minutes late, Facebook will cancel the viewing, which I don't understand that. Like, it doesn't cost them anything to not stream it. Like, just,
right. Maybe just bandwidth.
Well, as long as we're on YouTube, we can just take the video. We'll post this on Facebook after. So we're live on YouTube anyway, so we're good to go.
Yeah, we're 2 minutes in, but nobody's watching, so we're good. Like I said, people will find it later, and most people listen on the podcast. Yep. So, Jonathan, you've got the controls on the SD card, so I'll let you. Start us off.
It's already recording. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Persuasion by the Pint. I'm Jonathan Taylor, along with
Sean McCool, and we have a special guest in the studio with us, drink in hand, ready to go, Mr. David Collins.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Big applause.
Regardless of Facebook, you're still getting the applause.
Yeah.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah, we don't need live viewers to get the applause. We've got tracks for that.
We got applause machines.
That's right. So
that's right. So today, David, I'm excited about having you on. Sean sent me over the link. So today we're going to be discussing direct mail. And Sean, I think you got David's bio. If you want to go ahead.
Actually, I don't. So we're gonna have to let David do it. So David and I don't even know each other, but we met. We have a mutual friend that works at the agency I work out, and then she also does some freelance copy, I think, for David's company. So she introduced us by email, and that's how we got here. Yep. So, why don't we do the drinks first, and then we'll let David come on and kind of give his background after we do the beverages.
Okay. Well,
hold on.
I got a little snippet here.
Are you guys snippet?
We're good. I had to make sure I get my bio up. All right, we're good.
Okay. I couldn't find it actually. I looked on the
site. I'm gonna tease it, and then you can give the full bio, David. So
all right.
I've got David. David Collins. He is the founder and president. And I don't know if you're still the president of Real Estate Marketing, REM. His direct mail marketing campaigns have led to more than $10 billion in sales for his clients. He's a dynamic entrepreneur who's advised some of the largest real estate companies in the world on market share domination. So
that's impressive. Now, I'm even more impressed now. So, I was just fascinated with the stories he was telling before you came on, Jonathan. So you missed
that's all you needed.
Yeah. But so welcome, David. That's impressive. Anything you want to add to that? We're so professional here with our bios queued up, not queued up, whatever.
Not queued up. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he missed. All right. So the fun. So I always. So these bios for all of us that are, I get asked to speak in front of 50 people or 5,000.
Yeah.
So they're written to be to accommodate everybody. But I think what I want to share with you at the bottom of my bio, which I'm not going to bore you with, is some fun facts, and they're kind of, I'm going to weave some of these facts into what we're discussing today, and it also give you some idea of my personality. And my personality is described probably best as never say die and never loses. And so in 2003, I was named Small Businessman of the Year in the state of Florida. I've run 3 successful companies that do business in 19 countries. I am an award-winning Olympic photographer.
Wow. There's a nice little niche.
Yeah.
That's a crazy one. Yeah, that's a whole nother story in itself. I've completed 42 marathons.
Wow.
And after shattering both legs, completed the Ironman and won the Masters title at Disney twice.
Wow.
And at age 41, I ran the marathon at a 6-minute pace.
Holy crap.
Yeah, old man.
I would have that.
That's impressive.
Old man running from the cops and drinking, you know?
I was going to say, like, I would have to have something very aggressive chasing me to run 6 minutes for 26 miles. Like, it's
well, you know,
just not going to happen.
Police, the county sheriff. That's all it is. And so just to throw things up, I couldn't run anymore. And in 2018, I was the Division 7 NHRA motorcycle drag racing champion.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. That's
I went 120 miles an hour in 5.5 seconds on a bike.
Yeah.
He's got those Patrick Sweeney credentials. I mean, he's like going down.
Telling you. You and Patrick Sweeney, one of our last guests.
Just stupid. Who's the guy with no brains jumping on a motorcycle?
Yeah, definitely. So you'd be a great guest.
If you get anything out of that, I mean, I've been asked to speak on stage. Tony Robbins interviewed 700 businesses and brought one of them to London to speak with him on the business mastery course that he teaches, and I was the guy. And it's because I run the business by the business. And like you guys, you run the business by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to marketing and mail, it's, again, by the numbers.
Yep.
I think the biggest issue with mail is nobody really understands the numbers.
Well, we're going to
know when to stop and when to get in. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. We'll get into some details about that and why direct mail still works. Because it does. And in fact, it's probably the least crowded place right now to market. But first, let's talk about our beverages because we love to talk about our beverages. Jonathan, I see you're already halfway through, so I'll let you start.
Well, hey, Jonathan, hold on. You talk about your beverages. I'm refreshing mine.
There you go.
Is that a deal?
That's the deal.
So I was afraid you guys had already got into the beverage part of it, so I went ahead and opened mine.
Yeah. Good story. So go ahead and tell us what you got.
So I've got a returning guest called Bed of Nails.
Yeah.
You know, I had a hire last week. It was not so good. It was an IPA. So I've gone back because I can't find any new ones right now unless they're IPAs. So I have to I'm having to circle back around to a lot of the former beers. So I've got a High Wire Brown Ale Malty Smooth. This is delicious. It's amazing. It's one of their best. High Wire brew. So,
all right, we'll get your rating here in just a second. So, seems like everybody got a jump start today. Must have been one of those Fridays because I've already had one of these. So this is my second. So I've got AleSmith Brewing Company.
Ooh,
and it is a Speedway Stout. It's an Imperial Stout with coffee. And let me look up here's the copy for it. Speedway Stout's ominous pitch black appearance has become a hallmark of this modern day classic. Chocolate and roasted malts dominate the flavors, supported by notes of dark fruit, toffee, and caramel. A healthy dose of locally roasted coffee added to each batch brings out the beer's dark chocolate flavors and enhances its drinkability. Despite its intensity, Speedway Stout's fine carbonation and creamy mouthfeel make it very smooth and surprisingly easy to drink. This beer ages very well and continues to mature for many years to come.
That sounds like Sean McCool wrote that copy.
I know, right? So, so the ABV, so that's the ABV is 12%. IBUs is 70, which I don't believe, having tasted it already.
Did you say 12%?
12% alcohol, 70
Wow.
IBUs.
All
so, and this is my second. So who knows where this is going, David? Be careful. Let you do most of the talking.
Not to mention what the beverage we're having on our next episode, Sean.
Yeah, we're going straight to bourbon from this. So,
oh man, I'm out, boys. I'm running for the hills.
I may not last. I don't know.
So I can go ahead and rate this because I've already had a glass. But so David, we rate our drinks on a scale of 1 to 5 pints. Okay. I know you're not quite drinking a pint, although 2 together you might be. So where would you tell us what you're having, David? What is that mix?
Well, this is interesting. This is champagne, Grand Marnier, and you guys will comment on this next week, and cranberry juice.
So fancy.
Well, my wife made it, so it'll be fancy. I drink Bud Light, and I want to insult you guys with your fancy beer.
Yeah,
you know,
we appreciate don't bring that on. We'll take
I drink pea water. I know I drink pea water.
Goes out and comes in and goes out looking the same.
That's true. But now you want to give me a straight bottle of Tito's, we can have a good time.
There you go.
All right. Well, what do you rate your drink that your wife made there? It's scale of 1 to 5.
3. Yeah, it's a 3.
Oh wow. Okay.
I hope she's not listening. Drink.
Hope she's not listening. So
she's not here yet.
Well, I'm gonna give. So Jonathan, get the applause button ready because I think this is week 3 in a row.
Oh, 5 in a row or 3 in a row.
I'm gonna give this a 5. Like I opened this and I was like, holy crap. This is what an imperial stout is supposed to taste like. Not too much of anything. Incredibly smooth, just like the copy says. And I don't get the 70 IBUs. It has no bitterness to me, but anyway, I give this one a 5. One of my favorite stouts so far.
3 in a row.
Yeah, it's been
very nice.
Been a good April.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And tax day got moved back. I mean, what else could you ask for, right?
Celebrate, man.
Yeah. So what do you give yours there, Jonathan?
I've had this before. I'm going to give it a solid 4.7. I don't know. I don't remember what I gave it last time, but it's probably 4.5, 4.7. So this time around, 4.7.
All right. Good. Well, you bought it again. So
that's right.
That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate validation, right? It doesn't matter what we score it. If you buy it again. And
the can's not real. I'm not impressed.
No,
it's not like it's a fancy looking can, but
it's like a great Fanta juice. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like Fanta. Is that a Fanta you got there, guys?
Yeah, they need a marketing guy.
They do. They really do.
I like this can, the Speedway. The brewing company's real big, and on the other side,
I like that.
But the copy said nothing about why Speedway Stout. Like they left that part out of the story, so I don't know. And they're out of San Diego, California. I figured,
I figured leave out the story.
I know, right? But I figured, like, since everybody else from California is moving to Austin, where I am, I figured I'd get a beer from California as well.
I just saw a billboard with my name on it in Austin.
Really?
Yeah, it said Californians go home.
Yes. Yes, weird.
That's awesome.
It's like there are T-shirts around here that say "Stop Californiaing our Texas." Like
that's perfect.
So
we have a northern and a southern border.
And Austin is just like, man.
Well, what's happening too is these Texans that are, Californians are driving the Texans out, and the Texans are going to Tennessee.
Right. So, and in Nashville, they're like, get your butt out of here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's get into so David, for some context, as you're kind of telling your story and talking about direct mail, a lot of our listeners are online marketers, copywriters, salespeople. Jonathan's a industrial sales guy. I'm a copywriter, kind of salesperson at heart, run an agency, do some director of marketing type roles. So I work with a lot of copywriters. So a lot of our people are online. I know a lot of your business is offline. So as you're talking about this, think about how we can transition people and take advantage of this forgotten world of direct mail and how powerful it can be to augment what you're doing or even drive what you're doing.
Yeah, I think that it's, for our current day listener, gosh, how could I? Most of us have this feeling that direct mail is dead, that it's useless.
Mm-hmm. It's gone the way of the phone book, right? It's like phone book doesn't work, so direct mail must not work.
That's a great analogy. It's gone the way of the phone book, which was replaced by the answering machine, which was replaced by the pager, which was replaced by the cell phone.
Yes.
Right. So you go down this line. I think that if in the world of marketing, there are a couple of things that we are really clear about in our company, and we have over 20,000 square feet, 51 employees. We have offices and print facilities, full production facilities in San Diego and Buffalo, right on the border of Toronto, so we can handle Canada. And we have a Canadian corporation. We have about 1,600 clients. We mailed 7.2 million pieces last year.
Wow.
Every single piece. For those of you that are out there, think about this. Every single piece of those 7.2 million was personalized. That's going right over your head right now, and I get it. But here, I'll give you the perfect analogy. All of us got a check for $50,000 with our name on it. You could see it right through the envelope on the front. Remember the first one? Don't lie to me and tell me you didn't open it. You're full of it because you did. Everybody does. That's called variable data. So I think one of the first things that we need to address here is that if we look at direct mail and why it did or didn't work, let's look at some of the things we did or didn't do. Why? Like California closets, right? Why do we know California closets? Did you ever see them on TV? Nope.
Nope.
You ever see them on radio? Nope. They leave a little pamphlet on your front door. Nope. Direct mail. Yeah. Right? And I'm saying I haven't not been in the closet business because I'm really handy around the house, but I'm getting too busy. I literally this Tuesday have my first appointment after 18 years of getting their damn little flyers in the coupon box. I called them, but it's probably a $12,000 job. Right. So they spent 35 cents mailing me a coupon for 18 years, and now they just picked up 12 grand. So it's kind of a return. So I'm going to try this on Sean.
That alone is a great point. Like, that's such a long game, and most people are not willing to play that.
Right. And so let's explain the game and how and where it becomes effective. And now, Sean and I have not met prior to today. We've not had any conversations, correct?
Correct.
He does not know the cards I have in my hand.
Correct.
All right, Sean, if I asked you to go to the supermarket or the drugstore to get me something to clean my ears, what do you get?
Q-tips.
Holy shit, he fell for it. You see what, gals, you see what just happened there? He just told me he bought a cotton swab, but he named it the brand. Mm-hmm. It's like, you bought a new car. Oh, what Chevy did you get?
Yep.
Right? Q-tip did such a brilliant job marketing the Q-tip that you literally call the product their company name, the Q-tip or Johnson & Johnson company.
Like Kleenex, Pampers.
Xerox.
Yeah.
Avis.
Oh, my wife gets on to me all the time because I say the mouthwash. I say, did you buy some new Listerine? She never buys Listerine, but I call it Listerine.
Right. Yeah, I got to tell my wife not to buy Listerine. Go get the Act because it's better. The Act is better, by the way. Listerine doesn't have fluoride, by the way. So tip of the day, you want to help tip? Get Act with fluoride. Anyway, why are we talking about Act? We're talking about mail. Anyway.
You brought it up.
Anyway, okay, so the Q-tip. So the Q-tip, how did that happen? How did Q-tip get Sean? And I've done this again in an audience of 5,000, and the entire audience will go Q-tip. Mm-hmm. How did they make that happen?
You know, it's interesting. Just for context of how powerful this is, David, I don't even buy or use Q-tips, right? But that's my first go-to.
Sure.
Like, I mean, I don't even buy the cotton swab on a stick, whatever. I don't even know what a Q is for, like, it's cotton on a stick, not a Q. I don't even know what Q is. Like, what does that mean? Like, but still, like you said, they have that place in my head. I mean, very like, what's that? Al Trees and Jack Trout with the immutable things of marketing. That position in your head. Yeah.
They own a place in your brain.
Right. Even though
whether
I don't even
you
use
like
the
it
product.
or not.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, the Q stands for quality.
Well, I would have never guessed that.
No one would know either. All right. Back to how this happens and how we fail in direct mail or marketing. It's not just direct mail, marketing.
Yeah. That's a good point. I like this. I like this because a lot of our listeners probably have a pretty strong direct response background. And I kind of like where I think this is going. And I've always said, like, direct response is really cool and you can do some cool stuff with it, but don't throw branding as the enemy and under the bus. I don't know if that's where you're going, but like there's lessons to be learned in both.
There is, gosh, Sean, yeah, there's tremendous lessons. All right, so let me finish this and then we'll get into how all of your, I'm going to say I am, if anybody is on this in a chat, that I am the only guy in the room sending out mail.
Probably.
And I'm going to share with you how wrong that is.
I like it. Love it. Love it. Let's challenge and open some brains, man. Crack some brains.
Let's get some power in this conversation, right?
I
mean, it's not. So what, guys, I mean, our company is a $12 million a year company. So can I, is there any social media platform or internet digital thing I couldn't do? I got $1 million a year easy. I can send to marketing, right? Just to do anything I want.
Right.
And guess what? We did. For 18 months, we ran digital against our own print for 18 months.
Oh,
spent
cool.
$180,000 on the digital and about $60,000 on the print.
I love where this is going.
Oh, yeah.
The print bought back 7 times the money that was spent. The digital failed. It never covered its own expense. It never covered the 180 grand.
So you get a 7 times ROAS on direct mail.
Right. So every dollar we spent on direct mail, we got $7 back.
Wow.
Guys, watch. I'm Jersey. Can I go Jersey?
Yes.
Here's the crazy ass shit part. You guys don't understand it. Your clients don't understand it. It's like I spent $1 and I got $7 back, and I want 9. Okay, this is a gun loaded. All right. So here's the challenge. Here's the challenge. When I do my seminars, I throw this challenge up, guys. All right. Here's the opportunity I'm going to make to you, both Sean and Jonathan, and all of your listeners. I'm now going to give you the most profitable country for the last 3 years on the Fortune 500 list. I'm not going to give you the company, but I'm going to give you their margin. How would you like that?
I'm all ears. Jonathan?
The top. I mean, these guys have been at the top for 3 years. You know who it is?
Nope.
Apple.
Okay, that would be We have Jonathan and I have talked about how much money we've dropped with Apple over our lifetimes.
But we're not talking about the market, boys. I know I've been in there, and I'm in and out today as well. But
no, I mean just hardware. What we spent on their products is
on Apple. I get you. Yeah. Well, Dell is my.
Not to mention their Apple go-to. Care, which is you're paying for nothing.
Air.
Damn millennials. That's what you get for going with Apple. Stick with us old guys. We'll get you in a Dell.
Hey, we're both Gen X. Don't call us millennials. We're Gen X.
Right. That's
over
right.
Here.
Let's get it right.
I can tell we're all millennials with gray beards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what the hell were we talking about, boys?
Apple, most profitable.
Oh, right. So watch. The Apple's the most profitable Fortune 500 company for the last 3 years running. So they make 21%. So, guys, like you guys are in business. Your clients, hopefully, are in business. Understand that the most profitable company in the country spends $1 and gets $1.21 back. Are your companies understanding that?
Yeah.
Right? That when you spend $1 marketing and you get 21 cents, you're Apple. You are now the king. In our industry, we get 7 times that, 700%, not 21%. Because if you direct mail and you understand, if you can truly put yourself in the shoes of the consumer with no bias, it's a home run. And that's what we do. Our ability to step back and message the client as to what they want. So I don't have it here. I had it in my office. I got a postcard in the mail from a team of dentists. So you got to imagine this. So it's a team of dentists. And the print company, by the way, for all of your listeners, when someone sells you something around marketing that is ego-based, run.
So can you explain that a little bit? What would you consider ego-based?
Sure, absolutely. Sean and Jonathan, I think your beer is fabulous, but you know what I think would make it really sell is if we put life-size pictures of the both of you on the bottle. I'd sell. You couldn't make it fast enough if I could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, sure. Put my picture on everything.
Actually, Jonathan, I think Sean's better looking, so we're going to bump you.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
This is the stupid shit we buy. Right? In marketing. Right? Is the ego. No, if you're a dentist, this postcard came out, it was like 7 dentists. The guy in the middle looked like a child rapist. I mean, it was like the worst, and on the back side of this postcard, they had screws in someone's mouth. It's like, that looks really painful.
Yeah. Sign me up, right?
Okay. So let's look at some, can I share my screen by chance?
Sure.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. So here's, guys, what I was thinking about doing is in my seminars, I'm not going to go through my seminar, but I'm going to pick up some slides and just show some things some of the mistakes we make. And then hopefully going forward, your clients won't make them. Is that all right?
Yeah. So if you could just kind of describe what you're showing on screen for when we have the audio, the podcast listeners that you go through it.
Okay.
And then we'll tell people, go to the website, persuasionbythepint.com. and look up this episode. You can actually see the video version. So,
right.
All right.
Can you see that?
Yep. There we go.
All right. So again, this is for the listeners. I do I used to do 40 or 50 seminars a year all over the world, and we'll go back to that in a minute. But let me just look at. I'm just going to pull out some slides here to give you an idea on some of the mistakes we make in the marketing. All right. So this is an interesting one, and it's going to go back to all of your internet marketing.
Okay.
So we talked earlier about digital versus print.
Right.
All right. The 3 of us are old enough to remember when we didn't have an iPhone.
Yes. Or the internet, period.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't remember that, the 3 of us all individually paid somebody $4,000 to $5,000 25 years ago to create a website that's still not done. See, and the boys are laughing because they get it's true.
Yeah.
Because we all did it. So here's what happened. There's no. Everybody came out with the internet and said it's something for nothing. It's free. Mm-hmm. It's free. No, it's $4,000 and you get crap. Or no, now I can design a website for $98. Wow. And I'm amongst 40 million other people in my industry doing the same thing.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It is so ineffective. Mm-hmm. But it was something for nothing. And if we can just get off of that thought processes, is that, this is free. You know, I can throw something up on Facebook and make $1 million. No, you can't. You might.
Not anymore.
Nope.
That's a great point, David, because I don't think, a lot of people think the positive side of oh my God, the internet allows me to get global reach and reach anybody in the world. But it also means you have global competition. And they tend to forget that there's also global competition with global reach.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when I do my seminars, I love it because I tell them, whip out your phone. And I'll do a lot of industry specific. So breweries, right? So we're in a brewery convention and Ballesteri is here in San Diego is your favorite brewery. And I say, all right, now pull up your phone, pull up your best friend at Ballesteri and see how many other friends are at breweries they're friends with. Like you want to see, look at your best friend and look at what you do for a living and tell me that your best friend isn't friends with somebody else that does what you do.
Right.
How's that for competition?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. All right, here, watch. Here's this was a real estate convention we did. So 11 years ago, 5% of sellers find their agent online. You think about all of the, by the way, the iPhone came out 12 years ago. Think about all of the technology that has occurred in 12 years. Like the massive, I'm this internet, Facebook guru. I'm going to make you $1 million. Okay. What's happened in the last 12 years? Nothing. Same 5%, guys.
Wow.
And that why, what's funny? Why? And I'm going to tell you, if you work with a internet or digital marketer and they say to you, it's just just a matter of time, run. Because they all reply the same way. They all say, oh, it's just about time.
Sure.
No, it's about touches.
Yeah.
8.4 touches. And they damn well better be consistent. And they have to happen within 21 days. And you cannot guarantee that on the internet. I can guarantee that in direct mail. Even if they're throwing it in the trash can, I can see your pretty face and your message. I got the message. Even if it's subliminal. That's one of the 8.4 Q-tip contacts. You can't do that on the internet.
That is, I don't want to gloss by that, David, because I think that's such a big point. Like when you run an ad on Facebook, you can target your ideal avatar, but at the end of the day, you don't actually know if somebody is getting targeted or not. With direct mail, you do. Like it's going to show up in their inbox. They have to carry it up the driveway. They're sorting through the mail, even if it's decide to throw it away. And like you said, it's going to at least register with the brain subconsciously. And if they're not ready for it now, they're going to be ready for it at some point. And there's going to be a moment of recognition when they are ready. But you don't even know if if that ad is being served online or not. There's no way to know.
Sure.
No, and it can't. So I said, think about in the morning, like we're all at Starbucks this morning. We're on our phone. We're looking through crap and cruising through it, right? Let's assume like we went, and I do this every morning. I go get my coffee early in the morning. I come home, I answer a few emails, and I walk down to the mailbox and get the mail. Guess what I don't have in my hand?
Your phone.
No, yeah. Guess what I look at all the way back up? Because we have a private community, which the mailbox is down about 2 houses. Guess what I'm doing all the way back up? Undivided attention. Wait. Go to Starbucks and tell me who is undividedly attentive to anyone or place or chair.
Right.
Undivided attention. I absolutely have. All right, let's look at this. Is a classic one that is easy. Again, huge mistake. I saw this. This is a slideshow that I do in the real estate industry. So here, when we talk about ego, and I talked about putting the two of you on a park bench earlier, right? You were like, oh, of course, because I want my picture on the park bench and my kids will see me and I'll be cool.
Phil Dunphy, right?
I'm Phil Dunphy. Soon to be Phil Mickelson. Anyway, this is Iris Cohen. So I owned this business in South Florida, ran it for 10 years, built it, sold it. Went back and opened up a satellite office years ago, invited all my old clients, and Iris was one of them. Beautiful lady, sweet as can be, sharp, great agent. And I put her in this community here called Hammock Reserve. We're going to direct mail it every single month. Only on the month you want new orders, by the way. Only mail on the months you want new orders. And if you skip more than 30 days between mailers, start all over. So 8.4 contacts. If you skip a mailer, you start all over. So that, don't argue with me. That's just fact.
So,
Right.
so let's drive that home.
Yep.
If you're not willing to play for 9 months,
Yep.
then you shouldn't even start this game.
Right. Get out. What if you can't afford to spend 9 months or years worth of marketing to drive your business? But you got to do it right. Here's the problem, guys. Everybody wants to, right? Like if I guaranteed all of your listeners an absolute return of 7%, they jump on it, but they're feared. They're scared, right? They're scared of spending money that they're not going to get a return on. That's because they don't know. And they probably tried it once or twice, right? And they didn't work. It wasn't supposed to. Well, think about it this way. If I could walk into any area, let's say I'm going to walk into Miami and I'm going to take all of the grocery store business or private beer business or the brewery business, and I could mail 2 mailers and accomplish that, would I be on this phone call?
No,
because I'd steal every one of your damn businesses all day long with 2 mailers.
Yeah.
So where was the thinking on our part? We're entrepreneurs. So I'm going to pick on you all. We're big boys. You got your big boy panties on. Right? What were we thinking when we went down that road? We weren't. We were kind of just thinking, oh, I'm going to do something quick and easy, and what's going to, rather than an absolute plan. All right, Irish Cohen. So I go to do this. I fly back there 5-6 years later. I throw a huge party, big sushi event. Iris shows up. I love to see her. She's beautiful, and she's just was one of my better agents. I said, how's it going, Iris? She goes, David, I haven't sold anything in Hammock Reserve in 2 years. I went, Iris, when you were my client, you had a 68% market share. 68%, wow. Which is not uncommon, guys, for us at all. 68% market share, and now you're telling me you have 0 for the last 2 years. I said, did you run over kids in the neighborhood? How the hell do you go from 68% to 0 in 2 years? She goes, no. I go, you should have. Jesus. And she goes, I let me guess. The lady who bought my company redesigned your piece. She goes, yes, she did. I said, go get it. She went to a car and she came back and she brought me this piece. What is this piece about?
The agent.
It's about Iris. I mean, you call it agent, but all right. So I'm going to change this on you, boys. Isn't this about everybody else? It could be about oil. It could be about beer. Mm-hmm. It could be about cars. It could be about curtains, bedspreads, pillows. It's about the product as opposed to what's in it for me.
Yes.
With the product. Now, if I can change her focus, because I live in Hammock Reserve, to something about what's in it for me, I might end up with something like that.
Come on now, testify. Come on.
Testify, baby. Testify. Hammock Reserve. Now that's about the community.
Yes.
Yeah. That's about the friggin' age. This is your ego piece. I could sell every one of you this piece. So I'd be sitting on the beach in Maui for years.
Look at
and
me
you buy this shit.
Look at me. Look at my Hillary Clinton white pantsuit.
Dumbass,
right.
Up a tree. Yeah. Jesus, Joseph and Mary.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm glad I'm Irish.
He looks like more like Chelsea.
Yeah.
Here's another one. So, all right. So we'll talk about some things. Okay. So, all right. All of you out there are selling a product. I don't give a shit if it's beer or some good old champagne. Right? I don't really care what it is. How much is a keg of beer, boys?
A keg?
Ooh, I don't know, man.
I haven't bought a keg since college.
High school.
Our single beers cost as much as kegs used to. I mean, let's be real.
Damn expensive, boys.
Keg of Natty Light.
Yeah.
$15.
$15 for a beer? Honey, did you hear these boys? They're selling beer for $15. We just bought champagne for $11.95.
Yep.
A whole bottle. All right. So watch. You have a 15 bottle. Here you go. Your champagne. Mm-hmm. we think about the return on what we're sending. But more importantly, I want you to think about who your client is, and now think about what they do for a living. They typically sell a product or service. Now, on this slide, we have some really high-end stuff. But what if this was a Honda Accord, a Chevy Prius, a can of orange juice?
So what you're showing on the screen, David, is a lot of what we see in like magazines, on TV ads. It's product focused.
Right, but this is product focused. But the moral of this story, what I'm trying to portray here is that when you, as a company, go out and market yourself or your products, remember that these clients that you're marketing to go to work every day for these companies.
Okay.
And this is the quality of the marketing they see every day.
Okay. I see.
So it doesn't have to be Gucci, right? Or NetJets or, Harris. I mean, something so simple as even Chevy. Think about the brochure you get on a Chevy when you walk in and buy a Prius. I mean, it's a $30,000 car, but you get this insane brochure. Mm-hmm. Now, you're trying to market a product and service to these clients that go to work every day and see this marketing. Mm. If your marketing isn't on par to this, you're disconnected.
So this is a great point, because I think in the direct response industry, over the especially in the last probably 10 years ago, like ugly is better, those kind of rules that we hear from like Dan Kennedy and things like that, I think was widely accepted, right? Like, you don't do branding, you want to be different, you want to be like, you just want to get attention. And I've been saying for a while, I don't think that's true anymore. I think people expect a high level of design, and what you're saying, David, brings a great, like, I have never thought of it like in the way you're saying it. Like, this is what they see at the companies they work for, and the places they stop on the way to work, like a Starbucks or or when they go shop, they go to Target. Like, all these places have high-end design.
Yep.
And that's what they're used to spending money with. Yeah. So I like that train of thought. That's really cool. So
right.
that's a great perspective.
If every day, right. If every day you go through life, and this is the kind of marketing you see, mm-hmm. By the way, your product, you may be thinking, well, my product isn't, a Rolls Royce or a freaking jet. Mm-hmm. That's not the moral. You're missing the point.
Right.
The point is that your clients see this type of marketing every day. Mm-hmm. And there's absolutely no reason in God's little green earth that you can't take your beer and make it look that good. This good. There's mm-hmm. no reason you can't do that. Here's a classic example. That's a classic real estate postcard.
Right.
We're going to talk about this. Right. So here's where most of you just went. Expensive. Too much money. Okay. There's a postcard. There's a postcard. Any difference?
Yeah. Second is much.
Go back.
I feel like I'm the optometrist. Yeah. Number 2 is better.
Better. Worse. Worse.
My reading glasses.
Better.
There we go.
Worse. Better.
Yeah.
Better. Is there any cost difference between these two?
No.
Zero.
Yeah.
No. It's just a matter of the person that put it together and knew what the hell they were doing. Let's start with this one. It is atrocious. Mm-hmm. All right. For starters, see this mailing box down here? Mm-hmm. Only half of it needed to be there. This was completely for the advantage of the mailing house. So they didn't have to worry about where the hell the mailing, because it has to hit 4.425 inches off this side. So they don't have to worry about that. They just do this, which isn't helping you at all. And I don't give a shit about the mail house or the print company. And I am one of the largest in the world. This is atrocious. This is your message side. Almost every company in the world makes this mistake. So go home tonight, look at your mail, and tell me it's not all address up. So when this postcard hit the mail and Sandy and I went and got it, this is the side we see first, right?
Yes.
It's address up.
So what we're looking
and now
at,
I got Becky and James, an agent and a lender, and I don't need either one right now. Trash.
Right. So what we're looking at is a postcard, and the top half is like blue background, and there's two headshots, traditional realtor type headshots.
Yep.
And it says partnering for success. Not even they didn't even have the decency to say your success. They just said partnering for success.
Right.
With like a bio on their name. It looks like a yearbook entry, right? It's like, oh, these people were.
You know what's funny, guys? I've used this slide for probably 5 years. I've never even saw partnering for success. And you know why?
Because it doesn't matter.
No, it's a cardinal sin in marketing. When you want somebody to read something and get it, you never all cap it.
Oh, yeah.
70% of your ability to read quickly and identify messaging is the shape of the word. And we are not trained to learn the shape of words capped. So look right here. See partnering for success? Now, real quick, look under here, dominate any neighborhood anywhere.
Right. Title caps instead of.
Title cap. I said, I kind of slowed you down a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is, I swear to you, 5 years, I've never seen this. Okay, let's continue, right? So watch. This is trash. This is 90% of what you're going to see in 99.999% of what you're going to see on every mailer in the world. Here is the crazy thing about this postcard. I live in Pinmont Hills. I don't, but let's say I did. This information I want. I want to know what 6 of my neighbors sold their house for. Right? This is good information. It's just on the wrong damn side.
Those prices, by the way, are pretty incredible. Was that Virginia?
Yeah.
That's a mansion down on 4th Street. Don't you making fun of my house. Now this is a postcard, right? So so why? So we understand if we're dealing in the real estate industry, once you walk through the front door, the number one selling feature is the kitchen. So what's your number one selling feature? What's your market? Is it beer? What is it? Is it the cleanliness of the brewery? What are we portraying here? Are you getting my attention? Is this a frothy beer overflowing with a dynamite-looking bartender? All right, you got my attention, boys.
Well, I mean, you think about this. Let's take that a step further, David, with beer. So you would probably want to do postcards. Like, let's say there's a local brewery. You'd probably want to do a set of postcards. One would have a picture of a glass, a pint like this with dark beer. One would have a picture of light beer, because people choose their beers on kind of darkness and light and things like that, right? So if Jonathan and I see a pint on a postcard and it's got piss on it, we're probably not going to go to that bar. But if it had a picture of stout, we're going, right? So obviously that's different.
The question is, how do you appease Jonathan, you and I? Because I like the piss beer.
Right. So
that strong ass shit makes me like, I go to sleep, man. I'm gonna drink it. You can find me in my car sleeping in the parking lot.
Yes. So that's the question. How do we appeal to different people?
Right. But I understand the stout beer is a much more popular beer, and that's where the money's made. So what if we had a beautiful bartender pouring the stout beer, and behind her we could see a piss beer just sitting on the bar?
There you go.
So now I get you serve both of us.
Right.
But the money's made in the stout. This is the thinking that needs to happen. And then the messaging that goes out on the cards is important. It's why, I mean, look, guys, 7.2 million pieces last year. I have clients that made $3.9 million last year on one mailer. Wow. Every month, it's the same mailer. Every month for 12 years, Greg Newman, downtown San Diego, has mailed our mailer. 10,020 pieces. 3.9 million in commissions last year.
And what would he spend for reference? What would he spend on that
300,000.
years? 300,000. That's a
So
pretty
he's just
darn good
under
return. 10 times.
Yeah.
10x, almost 4x.
Oh, he's at 10x. Well, he's at 9. Well,
right, 10x. Yeah,
he's close.
10x baby, 10x baby. Grant Cardone would be proud.
Oh, I smoke Grant Cardone salespeople.
Would you split test that one that you just showed us with something? Is there one that you've split test that with to see which one outperforms?
On
we
our
can
mailers?
Pull it back up. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to see my slide presentation again?
Yeah, I flipped it off because you went away from the slide.
It?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. You see it now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one versus this one.
Oh, so that would, but the other one that was so lousy, that's not yours though, right?
No.
Okay. But I was saying, do you split test the one that you sent out was something else that's like a tweaked version of that?
Yeah. All right. So you want to see my tweaked version?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sick, but I wasn't planning on it. We mail that piece. It's 4 pages on cardstock, UV coated. It's 110-pound cardstock, so it's pretty thick.
Mm-hmm.
For $1 plus postage. Can you imagine putting this much messaging? You can't copy the front piece at Kinko's for $1.
Yeah.
And we put, now watch, here is right here, the homeowner's name, the recipient's name, the bar owner's name, the bar manager, the bar, who's in charge of all the bartenders. Here, same thing, bartender, bar manager, store owner. Here, homeowner's name. 3 times in this.
That's a really good, to me, that's a good point, because I think personalization, so many companies, they don't do that. It's just, it's a mass mailing. So
you're personalizing these mailers for what? $1? What?
$1 plus postage.
Okay.
That
postage
piece, that's an 11 by 17. That's a 4-page on cardstock. Guys, you can't touch that. You can't copy one side of it for $1.
Yeah. But I'm trying to compare it. Like if I think about what it costs, average Facebook ad type thing. So you're probably what, $1.50, $1.75 with postage?
$1.31.
$1.31 with postage. Like I can tell you time and time again, like to get to know if, how do I say this? Like on Facebook, to know that somebody actually clicked or to register it as viewed, basically.
Yep.
It's hard. It would be difficult to get into that $1.31 range.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to be more like $1.50, $2 for a captured lead, which I would consider direct mail a captured lead. Like they saw it. I know they saw it. They walked up their driveway, at least glanced at it. So that's cool. $1.31 for, and far more information than they're going to get in a Facebook ad.
Oh, yeah, it's
so.
Guys, look, I threw way too much money at Facebook.
So
and
going
I
back to the split.
Fun.
So I guess what I was getting to earlier when I talked about the split test, I'm going to cut that out if you, have you split test personalization versus non? I mean, and
yes,
what are the differences? I mean, what's the?
Yes. So variable data and guys, so I did it and I do it, and then I'm going to explain to you what I do, and how I do it. But first thing I want you to do is just take a note here for you and your listeners. And I don't want you to take my word for it. Just Google variable data response rate. And so variable data response rate's been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so we Googled it, and what we found was about 21 times return. So everybody was saying 21 times. So if you spend $1, you get $21 back.
Mm-hmm.
When we tested it, we came back more like 7. So we didn't think it was So we don't push the 21. We say it was 7.
Mhm.
So I mail, let me get this. Lisa is 7,000 pieces. Lisa's in Phoenix and Scottsdale. Elizabeth's in Vancouver. She's a solid 7,000 pieces in 37 buildings. And then I have a client in Texas. So these are very different markets. And so I pay for the marketing and then I share in the revenue. But it gives us that opportunity to beta test this stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's how we came up with 7 times. So if we, same exact piece, right? I mean, I can take this beautiful piece. If I put the homeowner's name or I don't, same piece, 7 times greater response.
Wow.
With the homeowner's name on it. It's stupid. I mean, it's.
And what, and we all know the reason, but what, I mean, just say it. What's the reasoning behind that?
All right. So guys, here's a funny ass shit. The reason behind it is so powerful, and it is so much more powerful to anyone that we could ever imagine. And guess what group of people that is?
The buyers? Millennials. Wow.
When was the last time you all know millennial? When was the last time they received something printed with their name on it?
That's a great point.
Yeah, that's true.
And they represent 33% of the real estate market right now.
They don't pay their bills by mail for sure. So I mean, everything's electronically.
Can you imagine a millennial coming home and getting a beautiful piece with their picture of their neighborhood on it and their name on the front of it, and it shows them exactly what the house sold for next door? Mm-hmm. They're like, these guys got it down.
That is I want the listeners to know, like, that is a huge piece of gold that you just dropped. Like that.
Yeah.
To think that, like, here's a digital generation.
Right.
So they've not experienced the personalized mail that we used to get, in the 80s or 90s, because that was the only option. They're just lumped in with like everybody else because it's digital.
Right. And so it was a great company in London that did a 4-year experiment on direct mail. And I'll send it to the 2 of you if you want it. It's an insane study. I mean, they literally put cameras in 100 homes to just study what happens to direct mail. And 4,000 people they interviewed over years. That's London. And they all said and done, the survey's done. They broke the groups up into 3 categories at the time: millennials, baby boomers, and seniors. And what they wanted to test was TV, radio, print, and digital or internet against each other, all 4 against each other.
Mm-hmm.
So one would think TV's got a pretty significant advantage. I would think. Here was the freaking deal. As crazy as it, a good 4-year study. All said and done. One group at the end of the study said, we believe direct mail more than anything else. And they were like, okay, what is it? It's direct mail. And who was the group, guys? Who do you think the group was? Seniors? Millennials.
Wow.
And this study was actually supposed to be stopped. That was their time frame. Their budget was done. And they went, shit, that's not what we were looking for. Like, we got to go back. No, we need more money. So they went back, and the bottom line was the millennials looked them straight in the face as they were laughing and saying, we created it. We can put anything we want on the internet, and it doesn't have to be true. So when we get it in print, it seems real.
Yeah.
That's interesting because my daughter's 20 years old, so she's kind of in that tail end of the millennials, and she's like, she prefers print books and print stuff because she's so overwhelmed by digital that her escape and her safe place is actually digital. It's actually print. You know what I mean?
That's nice. Nice to hear.
So that makes sense. Like it's counterintuitive because you think, oh, they're faster on the move. They got their phones all the time. So digital must be the answer.
Sure.
But actually there's a safety in the print because it slows down and like it does allow attention, without 14 notifications going off.
You just nailed it, Sean. You nailed a really killer point here in marketing. And that is, and Jonathan and I've even got this. This was actually genius. Is that it was the slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
That was the genius part, right? Because we're on the phone. I'm on my phone. We're on the internet. Now all of a sudden, I've slowed you down.
Yep.
I have your attention.
Yep.
Which is exactly what marketing is supposed to do: is grab your attention.
Yeah.
You just did it. You figured it out. Sean, we're done.
I mean, you think about it, like,
I'm retiring.
And it's a nice break when you think about anybody that works from home or works, is in front of their screen for a long period of time. Even that trip to the mailbox is kind of a little respite to break away and go out.
Yeah, you're out in nature for the 30 seconds or whatever, how long it takes you to go to the
I walk down and see my little mailbox. I like it.
And you're right, David. Like you mentioned earlier, it's like you don't take your phone to go check the mail. Most people,
sure,
like you leave it on the counter. You say, "I'm going to go check the mail." You kind of come back because you're going to have a handful of stuff that you got to sort through. Takes two hands to sort. So I think instinctively, you leave your phone on the counter for a moment.
Right.
You go down to the mailbox, you grab the mail, and you start sorting on the way back up. And you kind of have, like, I bet if you put cameras on people, their pace of walk slows. Like everything slows down.
Right. They did it in London in 100. So they did 4,000 homes. 100 of them, they actually allowed cameras in the kitchen and the living room. And you can actually see people do exactly that. They walk through the door slower. They kind of stroll to the kitchen. They look at certain things and certain things they just throw away. But when I need you to be there.
Yeah.
Right? When I need you to be there. So you need to be in front of me. You need to get that Q-tip thing going.
Well, you think about direct mail too. It's like, the way the brain works, it could take a snapshot of an entire postcard and get everything instantly, right? Where if I'm on a Facebook ad, I get like, I'm scrolling with my thumb. And I really I'm not sure that we see the whole thing. Like I see the image, but like something about there's been studies on this. We had an author on who wrote the book, Writing Without Bullshit. And he researched some studies and like the difference between people who read print versus electronic, the retention on print is so much higher than it is on digital.
You want to know what it is? It's 15% digital, 85% on print.
Right. Yeah. And it's weird. Like there's something about the concrete edges of print.
So it's a tactile. So you're actually creating an emotional experience between physical touch and the brain, irrespective of what you're touching. Like you could be touching gravel, hot coals. It doesn't matter. There is an association that connects to the brain, which creates retention.
Right. This is in the real world. Digital is kind of out there somewhere in the cloud or whatever.
It's there. And so digital is a great reinforcement. So when I do the seminars that I do, I say that the internet is brilliant at reinforcing an existing message.
Yeah.
So that's a great point.
Yep.
If you guys tell me I got this kick-ass beer and I'm a beer drinker, what do? I go online. I want to see the reviews. So I'm not saying the internet's not important. I'm going to tell you the internet's critical. But it's shit at driving business.
It's
critical to reinforcing your business.
Exactly. It's great for confirmation bias.
You have to have it.
Yeah.
Social proof.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
The algorithms are literally set up for confirmation bias.
Right. Or more commonly known in the old days as social proof.
Yeah.
George drank it so I can drink it, and he likes it so I like it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, hold on. Let's have a drink.
Mine's empty.
Dude, you're fired. Isn't he the boss?
That's right.
He is the boss. Yes.
I will
Well,
say
I just gave
that
him a pink slip, so you
that-
know what the hell.
I will make a point on the personalization because it reminds me, I got a mortgage company this week. I got it was a personalized pizza peel in with my family's name on it. Right. So, cause we had just bought a house. And so, a lot of these mortgage companies, what do? They send a housewarming gift. Well, we get this thing in the mail and it's a pizza peel in a pizza box. So my wife gets it. She brings it in. She's like, "What? Did you order something?" I was like, "No." She's like, "What is this?" And it's a pizza box. So she opens it up and she pulls out this wooden pizza peel. Really cool, but it's etched. It's laser etched. It's like Taylor Pizza Night or something like this. The Taylor family pizza night, very personal. And it's like, my wife was like, it was like, that was cool to me. But my wife was like, if they just sent a peel, like just with nothing on it, I would have been okay. But the fact that they did the personal touch to it, it's like, that's really cool,
Yeah.
So, it just drives home, what Dale Carnegie said. It's like a person's name is the most important thing in the English language. And when you personalize something, people automatically go directly to that. It's like, whoa, there's just a powerful, appeal there.
Jonathan, you're so, and you bring me back to who'd you just quote? You guys been around forever.
Dale Carnegie?
Dale Carnegie, yeah. One of the things, and we'll just share with your audience, because all of your audiences are entrepreneurs, I would take it. And that is, if I'm talking to Sean or Jonathan and I can repeat their name 3 times in a conversation, they're 8 times more likely to do business with me. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a weird thing. I can't go, "Oh, Jonathan, oh, Jonathan, oh, Jonathan." It has to be, right? It has to be.
Yeah, you can overdo it. I mean,
sauced in gently, right?
Yeah.
So Sean, I've referred to by name 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean, do you have any inclination at all that I don't know who you are or feel about you?
No. Yeah, it feels like you've paid attention. You've honored and respected, like taking the time to actually say my name as opposed to just you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so when you're so my biggest gig is sales, right? Obviously. And I teach this and that, and that is an insanely good lesson. What a cheap lesson that was. 3 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So let's kind of end on this, David. So how can the average internet marketer out there, he's not selling real estate, maybe he's selling a digital product. It's not a physical product. How does he apply this direct mail strategy in his world or her world?
All right, let me just see if I can get this up. Can you see that screen?
Can you throw that screen share
Throw that up? Yep.
There we go. You got Sandy's number there?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's Sandy's number. All right, so you can call us, and Sandy is my wife, and we have 50 employees. But she is the most brilliant customer service person I've ever met in my life. So much so that she's my ex-wife and still works for me. No, wow. She's that good. She is.
That's a strong testimonial right there.
That's about as strong as it gets, boys. But anyway, give Sandy a call. I think the most important thing is that what we do as a company is we call it ready, aim, fire. So it's so important to me. If I'm going to put my name on your company as your marketing guru, that I know what the hell I'm doing.
Sure.
And so, and I think so few marketing companies approach it that way. They're all like, "What do you want? Oh, you want your mother and your grandmother and pictures of your kids. And you want the ego picture of Liz slitting 6 foot tall." No. Here's my logic to it. My logic to it is if I guide you properly, other people will see that and want to do business with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the logic. That's the approach that we take. It's straight up. What do you want to do? What is your client's biggest concern or question about your product? Are you messaging that concern properly at third grade level? Most of you can't do this. Most of you can't do this.
Yep.
I can. How can you take an executive message and make it third grade level? What does third grade level mean? Third grade level means I can hand your marketing piece. You should all be able to do this. I can hand your marketing piece to a third grader. We'll call it a fifth grader. And in 3 seconds, they tell me what your message is.
Yes.
You can't do that. Your marketing, in my Jersey opinion, sucks.
There you go.
You're not marketing. You're egoing it. And bottom line, guys, we'll finish with this note, and I throw everybody under the bus. And I love you all dearly. And if you're my client, you'll become my best friend because all my clients are my friends. If you're ego marketing, don't talk to me. Don't even call me. Tell me that you just put your face on a billboard because you're all that in a bag of chips, or you want to sell something. All right, let's work about what's your client's needs, what's their biggest concern, what's their biggest pain. Can we address that at third grade level quickly and consistently?
Yeah.
8.4 times. Sean has 3 children. He loves tricycles.
Holy crap. Wait, I got a third child I didn't know about? Oh, my God. Hope my wife doesn't find out.
Jonathan, don't tell him what we did.
No.
We adopted him another child.
My wife is going to be pissed.
Well,
whoops.
That's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, the bottom line is, if Jonathan has 3 kids, I want to address his 3 kids. What's his concern? He's looking at 3 freaking brand new. He's got 2 kids. What's his concern? Well, one of his concerns is going to be school, education, college. There's a whole lot of shit that I can market to Sean, just knowing him.
Yep.
But I have to address his concern, and not my ego, not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
exactly.
So much of marketing is look at me. And it's ridiculous. It's asinine and ridiculous.
So do you guys work, David? Do you guys work with outside of real estate?
Oh yeah, we work with anybody.
So
the funny thing is that once you walk into an industry and just destroy it, you get a pretty big name.
Yeah, and you stay pretty busy. I get that for sure. Well, David, I mean, this is fascinating, and we're kind of at time, and our beer's done, so we kind of end the show when our beer's done. But how can people find out more about you? Where's the best place for them to find out more about you?
Yeah, I think let's go back to Sandy. Can you see that?
Yep.
So call Sandy. She is my ex-wife, and she's brilliant. She's sweet. She's beautiful, and she's on it. And I think what's most important is that you're not calling her to place an order. You're calling her to have a conversation,
right,
with me, because she schedules my calendar.
So, David, in your best radio advertisement voice, go ahead and say the number as well.
The number is Sandy Collins, 480-628-4882.
There you go.
That's my Match.com
DJ Worthy.
ad.
Yeah. You got a second career in DJing there. You got to speed it up a little bit because those radio spots are only like 15 seconds, 30 seconds.
Well, I'm trying to grab some emotion with the last 2.
I like it. I like the Barry White.
2,
yeah, the Barry White was coming out there initially.
Yeah, I felt the Barry White coming out for sure. So All
right.
You're on Delilah's show, right? So it's like, hey,
for like this.
Yeah, it's like Delilah say, hey, has your day not been great? Have you been struggling with your marketing?
Yeah.
Has your marketing relationship not been all you expected?
She's got that personal touch.
Did you lose money when you mailed the last postcard?
Sandy,
or did you have any intent as to what the postcard should have been?
Sandy's your girl. Call her at 480.
Sandy is your girl.
And yeah, if you didn't catch that, check us out at persuasionbythepint.com. Look up the episode with David Collins, and you can get the number. there. So, David, man, it's been a lot of fun. You're a great guest. And
anytime.
Yeah. David, Jonathan, whoever is supposed to take us out, I think it's Jonathan. I'm 212%. I'm 212% beers in.
Yeah. Sean, I'm going to take over because you're 212s, and then you got a bourbon on the horizon. Yeah. So, yeah. David, it's been a pleasure. Like Sean said, we'll be posting this early next week for our podcast audio listeners. And as always, you can find us at persuasionbythepint.com. You can catch us on all of your podcast platforms, Stitcher Radio, iHeart, you name it. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode.
Thank you, gentlemen.
See ya.
All right. It's good stuff.